We're projected to have $57 million in cap space, the 14th highest projection in the league, and the most cap space of Joe Schoen's tenure. And my guess is that's a selling point for Joe Schoen. He's like, well, look what I did with little cap space in 2022, and we went to the playoffs and we won a game. And it's like, okay. But you were in less cap hell in 2023 and 2024, and you didn't really do much. So what are our free agent options at quarterback? We've talked about this at length before, but it does not look like we would get Sam Darnold. I don't see us going after Russell Wilson. Justin Fields and Jameis Winston feel like more of a reality, and I wouldn't hate as much as I was kind of wishy-washy and not for Jameis Winston. Last season, it's like we're in such a stupid, awful position at quarterback that it's like I don't think it could be much worse with Jameis Winston or Justin Fields. And then you have the cheap options: Locke, Flacco, Brissett, and Jones. I think there's hard passes across the board there. Wide receiver, top options: Higgins, Cooper, Godwin, Diggs. I don't think we're going to go that route. I don't think it makes sense. Mid-level options are a little more appealing, but not really. Slayton, Hopkins, Keenan Allen, Deontay Johnson, Hollywood Brown, and Mike Williams. Of those, I'd say maybe Mike Williams. But none of those are really speaking to me. So I think wide receiver is probably going to be something you'd pursue in the draft. I mean, I know people want T. Higgins, but I feel like he has such a good thing in Cincinnati. It's hard imagining him in another uniform. It's like I almost want him to return to the Bengals. I want the Bengals to win. Bengals haven't had a ton of success. I know they went to the Super Bowl, but it's like they're another one of those teams I'd like to see win. The Browns, Bengals, Lions, Bills. So yeah, I don't think we'll be able to pony up for that. So it doesn't seem like we're gonna. If we do, it's very limited in terms of options at wide receiver in a free agency class. At D tackle, there are no really top level options. Mid level options and cheap options are interesting though. BJ Hill, would he want to return to the Giants? My guess is no. Would be nice to have him back in the building, but I don't think he will return. And then one cheap option that I kind of stuck out to me, Calais Campbell. I mean, he could retire. He was just with the Dolphins. He got very emotional with a coach on the sidelines after the last game there. Calais Campbell would be a very interesting pick. I'd like to see us. I wouldn't mind signing Calais Campbell in free agency and then drafting a D tackle, a BJ Hill over Calais Campbell, but I don't think BJ will return. At corner, some top dollar options: DJ Reid and Charvarius Ward. Mid-level options: Carlton Davis, Rasul Douglas, Asante Samuel Jr., Byron Murphy, Paulson Adebo, and no cheap options. So for everyone saying that we need to go out and get a corner free agency, I don't think that's going to happen. I think we really need to focus on the draft. I mean, Byron Murphy, I feel like he's got a good thing going in Minnesota. Carlton Davis has a good thing going with, I believe, the Lions or the Bucks. Rasul Douglas, Buffalo. I mean, he's got a good thing going there. Asante Samuel Jr., I think, is with the Chargers. So all guys that seem to have a pretty good thing going on with the team that they're with. Not that has ever really prevented anyone from going and getting more money and bigger contract with something else. But I think part of me thinks that might be changing. It's like, do you really want to earn a lot? I wonder if Brian Burns regrets coming to the Giants from the Panthers. It's like, I went from one really crappy situation to another. And then safety, top dollar options: Javon Holland, Cameron Bynum, Talanoa Hufanga. And then mid-level options: Justin Reid, Justin Simmons, Trevon Moehrig, Andre Cisco, Jeremy Chin. Cheap options: Jason Pinnock, Damar Hamlin, Marcus May. So would you do this? Because I don't know that Pinnock has really played so well that he's played himself out of possibly re-signing. You know what I mean? It's not like he's going to get crazy money. So would you do this? Would you sign Pinnock and then also bring in a Justin Reid or a Justin Simmons? That is really appealing to me. I don't want to draft another safety. It's like, I like that combination of, I have a drafted player and a free agent player at that position. So I think Newbin's your drafted player. You got him last year. This year, I think you bring back Pinnock, but then you also get some more competition in the mix with Justin Reid or Justin Simmons. The idea being Reid or Simmons become your starter. Pinnock can be that possible extra backer, someone in the box, that can help with coverage. So I like that. I think most likely you're going to sign a quarterback. Most likely you're going to sign a D tackle. I don't know if we're going to get a corner, but you're probably going to sign a safety or two. So you're looking at 3 or 4 significant, important signings in free agency that will either play a very important depth part or start. Basically, you're signing. I mean, that was the whole goal this past offseason was we're going to sign a quarterback to compete with Daniel Jones, and it didn't happen. So, but we have the utmost faith in Joe Schoen and Brian Dable to pick the next quarterback. So, I say screw it. Let's bring in Justin Fields. Screw it. Bring in Justin Fields or Jameis Winston. So that would be my picks for free agency quarterback because there's no way I can see Darnold not getting another contract with the Vikings. Although, and this is where it gets interesting because it's like 3 years, $100 million, 30 some odd million a year. We could probably afford it. But if the Vikings keep him, what are they going to do with J.J. McCarthy? And they just signed Daniel Jones, dude. I'm very curious to know what the Vikings are going to do. I guess they could let Darnold out. I mean, I'm telling you, people are saying, unless he wins the Super Bowl, they believe that J.J. McCarthy is their guy. So if they bring back Darnold on a 3-year contract, do they trade J.J. McCarthy? And if so, do they trade him to us? So that's the one avenue that I don't think a lot of people are talking about is what the Vikings are going to do at the quarterback position. And I'm sure they're not the only team where there are some questions about what we set out to do and what is actually happening, like expectation versus reality. I don't think they're the only team that has that situation going on. So, and then you saw friggin' Joe Milton with the Patriots lighting it up. I mean, granted, it's against the Bills' backups, but he's not. Drake May is the starter there. Did the Giants trade for Joe Milton? I'm almost more. It's very weird, and I don't know why I have this stance. Is I'd rather not draft Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. I'd rather do this weird trade for Malik Willis, Joe Milton, or J.J. McCarthy. It's well, we actually could have got J.J. McCarthy in the draft last season and not have to give up anything for it. So, but I'd rather have Malik Neighbors. I'm glad we got Malik Neighbors. I don't see that ending well. I don't think we're going to be able to resign him, but can you imagine if they don't resign him and they unretired a number for him? Did they re-retire the number after he signed somewhere else? So yeah, those are the top free agent options. I'm sure we'll get more into it as we get closer to free agency in March.